So many of us have the same problem. We want to live a life of impact and meaning. First of all, when you are changing people's lives and helping people change, helping them become fulfilled and happy, reaching their goals, overcoming their obstacles, getting rid of fears, you're doing something that has massive impact. Your life has meaning and purpose. So straight away, point number one is met. When you are doing something that has value, impact, meaning, purpose, you're living your life with that sense of meaning and purpose. Secondly, you can make a lot of money. You can make a very good income. You set your own hours, you set your own fees, and you can take it as far as you want to go. You can see clients every day in your community. You can also work out of hours. You can do Skype sessions all over the world. There is no limit to where you work, how much you work. You can write articles, you can appear on blogs, you can create your own blog, you can have a piece in your local newspaper. I started out like that. I was a hypnotherapist, and I began to get articles written about me. I began to write articles about hypnotherapy. I started to appear on the local radio, then on the local television. Then it went further, and I began to write books, and I became a speaker. But it's always been about hypnosis, always hypnosis, and the role it plays in human development. People have some very interesting beliefs about making an impact and making money. Here's a very common money block. Pursuing money is greedy. The love of money is greedy. Bad people pursue money. And here's how to overcome that. If you are doing something good, where you are making money from doing something good, and if the more money you make, the more good you do, then you'll feel good about it. For instance, I was always a hypnotherapist. I made a good income, a nice income. But when I really took off and made a bigger income, I was able to create my program for schools, the I Can't or I Can 5-day challenge. We give it away, it's completely free, because I have the spare money now to pay for the shooting, the editing, the production. I have the money to take my free time and teach teachers how to raise the self-esteem of their classes. So the minute you're doing something good, making money and doing good things with it, or making money, it's like an exchange. You're giving of a gift you have, and you're receiving very well for that gift. It's like when I breathe, I give a breath, I take one. It's perfect balance. I give and receive, I receive and give. So I give of my talents and I receive. You have to get this right in your mind. I'm doing something worthwhile. Everything people buy, almost without exception, is because it makes them feel good. When you are selling something that makes people feel good and minimizes their pain point, then you're doing a good thing, and knowing that and reminding yourself that will alleviate this, oh, who am I to charge for this, and surely I should give it all away because I'm a spiritual person. People don't value what you give away. They value what they are investing in. They're paying for your skill, your expertise, your talent, and your learning. In the same way, I wouldn't say to my neighbor, hey, my central heating's broken, can you fix it? I'd go, I better pay a really experienced plumber because I trust them with my heating. People are trusting you with their health, their emotional well-being, and they'd rather pay you because, after all, they all have the choice of talking to their neighbors, their friends, their colleagues, but they want to go to someone qualified. They want to know, I'm in good hands, I'm in your hands, and I'm paying for your expertise. We can all find free therapy. It's all over the internet. There's lots of books, lots of people who want to help. But people like to pay for expertise because it makes them feel reassured and confident and better. I can think of a particular police officer. So I went into the police force to help people, but the community I live in, I was just locking up drunks, locking up drug addicts, and really getting nowhere. And when I began to lock up the children of these drunks for being drunks, I'm thinking, well, what impact am I making here? When I met this person, they were thinking of ending their life, and they came to train with me. And I only understood it was the feeling of futileness that made them feel helpless and hopeless. And now that person has become a phenomenal therapist, been in the papers, been working with celebrities, has got a lot of feedback, and has taken that work into the police force too. I worked with several police officers who felt like that. I want to make a difference. And I remember working with a beautiful lady called Louisa who got a one-way ticket to train me. I've got a one-way ticket because I've been thinking about ending my life for such a long time. You are my last hope. You might go, hey, Marisa, come on, you're training people who are suicidal? That's a bit worrying. No, it's not worrying. She hadn't acted on it. She just thought about it a lot. And this all went back to her childhood, and we understood where it came from. And in understanding and removing it, her life was completely changed. And she's a very, very, very successful therapist. She's told her story a lot. She's one of the people in my book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. I worked with someone who could not stop drinking, a very addicted alcoholic, and it was all down to being gay, and his father rejected him, and he felt worthless. He was full of self-hatred for no reason. He was the most beautiful man. And I remember saying to him, I know you think you're broken, but actually you came from a broken family. I know you think you're damaged, but actually your parents damaged you. You're not broken, but your childhood was broken. You're not even damaged. You were just raised in a damaged way. And he stopped drinking immediately and has never drunk since and is so successful. But he also has repaired his relationship with his parents. He sends me pictures of him and his mother and father. He's forgiven them. They've totally accepted him. They no longer care that he's gay. They see the beautiful man that he is. And so the ripple effect of doing therapy, hypnotherapy, is extraordinary. When we're fixing one thing, we're fixing drinking, we're fixing binge eating, we're fixing someone pulling out their eyelashes or picking at their skin or having stomach upsets. But the ripple effect means we're healing the relationships with their families. Somebody came to see me on one of my courses and said, you know, I'm going to leave my husband. I just can't stand him to touch me. It makes me feel physically repulsed. But before I leave, could you just work with me on this? And as it happened, we went back to some scenes where her father was very inappropriate. He loved walking around the house naked when her friends were there. He'd make a point of having really loud sex with her mother when her friends were having sleepovers. And it was really wrong, and she was so revolted by the sounds her father made. He deliberately amplified it. She couldn't stand his naked body. So when she married her husband, all of this was projected onto him. She didn't like him to touch her. She couldn't bear to look at his body. And it all came up. And then she called me and said something amazing. I left your session. I ran home. I grabbed my husband, said, quick, before the kids come home, let's get together. Let's reconnect. And she said, you know, you've changed 6 lives overnight. I love him. I realized this was all about my dad. I'm not leaving him, so he's got a better life. My 3 kids, even our dog, and me, that's 6 people whose lives have forever changed. Because you did what no one else could do. Instead of talking about, well, let's go on like marriage counseling, you went back and had a look at why do I feel these feelings about my husband? And it wasn't even him. It was my dad. I could never tell my dad how much I resented him because he's dead now. So I took it all out on this lovely man who didn't deserve it. And I love that the ripple effect, that her children were improved. And who knows if she shared that story with her friends who don't think, oh, I have this issue, let me go and find a hypnotherapist, because hypnosis is so powerful at uncovering what I call unfinished business. People come in and go, hey, I've got terrible headaches, or I can't lose weight, or I'm acting out. And the presenting problem, here it is very rarely the problem. It's just the source, the root of something else, what I call what lies beneath. And we look at what lies beneath. We deal with unfinished business. We take out all the old stuff and put people back together again, and you're better than ever, free of this unfinished business. It's a bit like if I had a big backpack and I'm walking around with this heavy backpack, what I call the luggage of life, taking it with me. And it's old stuff that we don't need. So I've had many, many stories of people saying, gosh, that one session, somebody wrote to me and said, you know, I came to see you, I lost so much weight, I got married, I got a baby, I got promoted. But I think my favorite is somebody who wrote to me and said, I heard you speak and you were hypnotizing everyone on a screen. And when I finished, I got up and I left my apartment. I went straight to the supervisor to get my husband out of the building. He's abusive. The steps I took, I was so brave. I had him removed from the building immediately. I took more steps into a store. I got a job there. I took more steps to my kids' school. I protected them. And eventually I moved. And not only of my life is my kids don't watch mummy being hit on a regular basis, because that hypnosis you did on a screen gave me the self-esteem to think, hey, I deserve better than this, and so do my children. So hypnosis has far-reaching effects. I never met that girl, but I love the fact that she wrote to me and said, the words you said and the things you took me back to in this group changed my life and gave my kids a better life too. So of course people say, how do you do this? You should be a psychotherapist, you should be a psychologist. People need years of training. It takes years and years and years to make people change. And I say that's rubbish. One of my friends walked into an abattoir, came out and said, that's it, I can never eat meat again. Imagine if you've ever had food poisoning and you've eaten something, I don't know, raw fish that wasn't, oh, that's it, I can never eat fish again. In that moment, when I was sick, it changed everything. One of my friends got some chickens, and she says, I can't eat chicken. I just love these chickens. I didn't plan that. So can you change fast? You can change instantly. We change all the time. When we change our thinking, it changes our feelings, our actions, our behaviors. The old model is therapy takes a long time. In fact, a therapist wrote to me and said, I don't know how you dare to tell people you can help them change. Don't you know that change is a world of pain that takes years to qualify? I said, luckily, no, I don't actually know that. I don't know it. I don't believe it. I see people all the time. I've been in therapy for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and here am I learning to live with myself, but I'm not changing. See, when you go to AA, they don't say that. They say, come here, and we'll help you change your relationship with alcohol, sometimes in the very first meeting. And so we change all the time when we're capable of great change, powerful change. And often all we need is one person to show us how to change powerfully, permanently. And that one person could be you. When you become a hypnotherapist, the impact you can make is massive. Of course, there's the everyday stopping smoking, stopping overeating, stopping self-sabotage, stopping procrastination, stopping yourself from holding yourself back. But there are so many other things that you can do, and most people that we train start off by charging around $200 to $250 per session. Some are very happy with that, and others take it further. You can work with groups. We help you market yourself. We give you so much when you train with us, and it's up to you whether you want to work in your community, working with people one-on-one, or you want to work with groups, or you want to work all over the world. All of our students say this is the best job in the world. So I've worked with probably over 50 million people, from one-on-one clients to seeing people in seminars of 10,000 people in the audience, to working with people online, doing seminars, writing books, and having had a huge amount of clients, both one-to-one and online and in groups. I learned very quickly that the common denominator of all of our issues comes from this one thing. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. And I found that I had clients who were billionaires who believed that, supermodels who believed that, powerful movie stars who believed that, and of course, people like you and I, school teachers, people who ran a bakery, parents. So many people have this belief. If you have that belief, you're in very good company. It's incredibly common. It's incredibly damaging, but it's also very easy to change it forever. If you need more food, more alcohol, more drugs, more screen time, more stuff to buy, if you need more likes, if you feel this kind of emptiness in here that you're trying to fill with things to buy, things to eat, things to drink, things to do, if you need people to tell you all the time that you're okay, then you don't feel enough. If you have a lot, I've got a great job and I've got a house and I've got some kids, but I still don't feel enough. There's something missing. I'm looking for something. Then you don't feel enough. If you have everything and you also have with it a great feeling of dissatisfaction or emptiness or needing more, because here's the thing, when you think you're not enough, you'll always need more of something. When you know you're enough, you can pursue more, but it doesn't come from the emptiness. It comes from that, hey, I can get a promotion, I can have this great relationship because I'm enough, rather than I'm not enough and I need more and more and more, because of the emptiness inside that really comes from the unmet needs you went through in your childhood, which you can't change as a child, but you can go back and change as an adult. It's never too late to fix those unmet needs. It's never too late to join the I am enough movement instead of staying in the I'm not enough movement. So how do you fix it? Well, first of all, you understand the truth. No baby's born going, don't look at me. I haven't got any hair. I got no teeth. I got these triple thighs, I got milk spots, I'm not enough. A baby with its diaper leaking and its nose running and covered in vomit will still look at you with that big toothless smile and expect you to love it. In the same way, if you get a little stray cat, it expects you to love it, because we're born with the belief, I am enough. So the first step is to recognize something profound. You were not, could not, and were not born with the belief that you were not enough. You acquired it. Someone told you, showed you, imposed that on you, and that was wrong. However, it is never too late ever to go back and install what's still in you. No one's taken it away. It's just got buried underneath these other incorrect beliefs. I'm not enough because my dad was always angry, my mom was always crying, my mom was always at work. Why is that? Well, I guess she likes it more than me because I'm not enough. A child doesn't live with any logic at all until they're 5, only feeling, my dad's never here. I guess I'm just not worth visiting. So we buy into this belief very early, but when you question a belief, you don't believe it anymore. The minute you say, well, why did that happen? And who said that? And what do they know? And then change it, flip it. I'm enough. If you want to quantify it, here's how you quantify. I'm enough because I'm enough. I'm good enough, nice enough, worthy enough, smart enough. I'm enough. I matter. So realize you acquired it. Work out how, if you want to, and if you can, and then flip it, say the opposite, I am enough, just because, and do that over and over again. And I promise you its strength and its power and is in its truth, its honesty, its simplicity, but more than anything in its truthfulness, because you are enough. You always have been until the day you die. You absolutely always will be. Check out my next video here.